you found that romantic love, music, creation helped you to encounter the true and living God.
Mhm.
You ended up going to Bible college.
Yeah.
Was that because you had no choice?
Kind of. It was one of the few places we could afford, and I had very strong parental pressure. I wasn't a happy person there. I was rather obnoxious, actually. I would sit in the patio in the middle of the place and read books like Bertrand Russell's Why I Am Not a Christian and books like that. And I was known as the campus renegade. I wasn't treated very well. And for that reason, I understand people who have been wounded by the church. I really do. And I think God has used that because they don't need another lecture. They don't need another argument. They need love and prayer
Yeah,
and then careful
but
witness.
that's where
People
you
like
met Janet.
that is. And we've been married
Was
53
that in the
years now.
cafeteria?
Yes, yes. I was in the dishwashing crew. We called it the
Yes.
dish pit, and these giant machines and slopping all the plates, into this big ugly garbage. And I'm stained with a T-shirt with food stains all over it. And I met this new student who caught my eye, and the rest is history.
But Janet was a link in the chain in your journey of faith.
Yes, she was. She had been raised as a missionary's child, actually, in Peru and Colombia, South America, and had not gone through the kind of torturous uh, faith experience that I had. She very solid family, loving family, not perfect, no family is, but she had healthy faith. But at the same time, she had kind of a sass about her that a lot of the Bible college girls did not, and was just showed me that you can be fun loving and happy and be a follower of Jesus. I hadn't found too many people
No.
like that.
Now, you mentioned that you had a vision of God as the Good Samaritan that
Right.
deeply impacted you. What exactly happened?
Yeah, I was in a group that would go to the university. There was a nearby university with 10,000 students, and we would supposedly evangelize. Well, on the Bible college campus, there were no televisions. So I would mostly go to the student center and watch television. Maybe there's a basketball game or something. And then we would have to have a prayer meeting each week to discuss what had been going on and pray for the contacts we had. Well, Joe, Chris, Thomas would each pray, take turns, and they'd pause maybe 3 seconds waiting for me to pray, and I never prayed. So then, but these are good guys. They could have turned me in, they could have got me in trouble, but they didn't do that. They knew I was troubled myself. And so one day, and I have no idea why, uh, I started praying. It was my turn. I said, God, and everything got very tense because they hadn't encountered this before. And I said, I don't care about those 10,000 people at this university. I don't care if they all go to hell. And you could cut that tension with a knife in that room at a Bible college. I said, I don't care if I go to hell. And I guess I'd have to call it a vision, J.John. It wasn't something I was thinking about going in. It just happened to me. And I saw a replay of the Good Samaritan parable where the Good Samaritan is reaching down and helping this poor tramp in the ditch. And then as I stared at the figures internally, it's daylight. I didn't have my eyes closed, but I could see. When I looked at the face of the Good Samaritan, it was the face of Jesus. And he was reaching down, and when I looked at the face of the tramp, it was me. It was I. And every time he would reach down to help me, I would spit in his face, spit in his face. And it was just so shocking. I didn't know what to do with that. So I kind of stopped in the middle of my prayer and just walked out and shut the door and went back to my room. And I wrote a note to Janet that night saying I may have had the first authentic religious experience of my life,
Yes.
or maybe not. It may fade tomorrow, but it didn't
Wow.
fade.
No.
And that I hesitated all these years to tell that story, because when you tell a conversion story,
Sure.
people think, well, I should have one like that. Well, no, God deals
No.
with all of us very differently,
Absolutely.
and yours is
But
different than mine.
but in many ways, Philip, many ways it
Hmm.
was like it's like the prodigal rediscovering the wonder of God's grace.
Yeah, yeah. First, you have to realize that you're the prodigal. And I thought I was sophisticated and smarter than the people around me. And these Bible college people, they look like cookie cutter people. And I realized actually I was the neediest one of all. And they didn't know how to treat me. They didn't know how to treat somebody like me, but God did. And that soft, gentle approach. I expected God to break me, and God doesn't work like that.
God
God
doesn't work like that.
wooed me, yeah, seduced me, as it were.